Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Wanda. Hi. In this video, I'll be making some earrings using printable shrink sheets. The sheet size is A4, 8.5 by 11 inches. These are printable shrink sheets. They are most commonly used for crafts such as ornaments, keychains, and stands. It can also be used to create jewelry, rings, hair clips, and a variety of other craft items. You can use an inkjet printer, markers, colored pencil, and colored powders. And to cut, you can use a cutting machine or scissors. To shrink, you can use a heat gun or an oven. TeckWrap has sent me 3 to try out. So here is a glow-in-the-dark one. We have a white, and we have a translucent one. For this tutorial, I'll be using the translucent one. Let's open this up and take out one of the sheets so we can get started. I was debating whether to use the white or the translucent, but ended up deciding to use the translucent one. Once you take the sheet out, you'll see a side that's shiny and a side that's rough. The print side is the rough side. And before we get started, let's head over to Canva. Select Create a Design, Custom Size 8.5 by 11 inches. Select Elements, and I'll be selecting a Peeps. I'll be adjusting the size. I'll try to make it as big as possible. If you're using your phone, on the bottom, swipe over to Transparency. Change it to 50% and swipe to Contrast, and then bring the contrast up, make it 50%. Also change the saturation to 50%. These are the settings you need to make the image much lighter. Otherwise, when you shrink the image, it'll be way too dark. I have a couple of more images, but I'll do these off of camera. So once you're done, hit download and then save it as transparent. Remember, this is a pro setting. And now let's head over to Design Space. Select each image you're going to be wanting to shrink. I'll be selecting a couple of images. Therefore, click on each one and add to canvas. And there we have our images. I already had the images here, but I'm going to show you what's the next step. So I'll be resizing all of these images. Before moving them, I'll just select to resize all of them at the same time. I'll just grab on a corner and start shrinking it down. Once I think it's the size I want, I'll just click on each one and move it over so I can work with each one separately. I'll be focusing just on a couple of the images. So these, I'll just select it and then head over to delete and just click on delete. And now I'll just rearrange these. All right, I'll head over to shapes and select the circle. Close this and I'll duplicate this so that I can have 2. And there we have them. I'll change the color to purple. If you don't find the color you need, you can select Advanced and change it there. right here and select. So I'll be choosing this purple. I'll change this color to white so that we can see the difference. Now I'll be changing the size on the purple one. I need 0.75 and go down and select. I'll change the white one to 0.5 and go back to it and select it so that it can change to the size. Now I'll put it on top of the purple one, select both, and then I'll go up here, select a line and center. Now I'll select both of them and go down here and select combine and then subtract to make a hole in the middle. This is where the jump ring will go through. I'll be putting it on a corner. You can select any side you prefer. Make sure not to put it too close to the edge, otherwise when cutting it, it might be too thin and can break easily. Now, highlight the peep and the circle and select flatten. This will make the image just one. And do the same for the rest of the images. I'll do this off of camera so the video is not as long. Once your images are flattened, then select Make. And you'll get a page like this, which is the print page. Here I'm just moving around my images to make sure I have enough space in between the cut. Once you're ready, select Continue. Now select Send to Printer. Select Next. Here I'll be selecting the printer I'm going to be using, which is an Epson 2800. You can select to keep your bleed on or off. Use System Dialog and then select Print. You'll get a box behind this window, so select on that. Select Media Quality. You can select the paper type you're using and go to Quality and select Best. Once you've selected your preferences, you can select Print. And we're ready to go print on our paper. Remember, the matte rough side is the side you need to print your image. Keep in mind that the finished product size will be reduced by 46% after heating. This is the reason why this may look a little bit too big for a pair of earrings. But trust me, they're the perfect size. To cut the material, I'll be placing it on a regular cutting mat. Place it on your mat, and if it's a little bit crooked, remove it and place it back on. Make sure it's straight. And once you have it on there straight, you can take it to the machine and start cutting. I forgot to record the part where I was selecting what setting to use. I did use shrink plastic and I applied more pressure. All done cutting. Now to remove it from the mat. Turn the mat around, hold down, pull the mat up, and voila. All right, now the complicated part. To remove these, very carefully find a little bit of an open space to get your fingernail in and kind of slide just like this. Be very careful. Try not to be too rough so the material does not break. And as you can see, this works perfectly. As I mentioned, I'll do the rest off of camera since this takes a little bit of time. Now, to set the oven, I'll be using 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 minutes. TeckWrap recommends you bake at 160 Celsius, which equivalates to 320 Fahrenheit. Or you can use a heat gun for 1 minute. To keep them safe, I put them in a baking pan, which was a little bit too tall for video purposes, so you can't really see when they're shrinking. And it's time to take them out the oven. I'm using a safety glove to make sure I don't get burned. And before they cool down, I'm making sure to flatten them with something that's flat. Lastly, let's put some jump rings to make them earrings. They came out so cute. I also want to mention you can also put UV on them to make them last longer. I'll be bringing in the jump rings and pliers. Now to select the color of jump rings. I'm debating whether I use gold or black. Since we have 2 pairs of earrings, we'll need 4 jump rings. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with gunmetal black. And here I was just having a little bit of a hard time. I was trying to separate the jump rings. And that's what happens when they're just all in there mixed. So I'm looking here for the right colors. I need 2 of each. And we're all done. Let's put this in here and put this away. Have my pliers. Now to start with one of the rings, I need to open one of the jump rings. So I'm using this ring. And here we go. Put the last piece on here and then closing it. Make sure to tighten it. And there's one. Now for the next one. Jump ring. Open it. And let's get the earring. Place it in there. And now let's close it. And tighten it. Make sure it's tightened. All right. Now to make them pretty, let's use a cute packaging and slide them in there. And this is how they turned out. Beautiful. Now let's do the other pair, but I'll do this one with fast mode, so the video's not as long. And this is how they turned out. They look beautiful. If you watched to the end and you liked the video, don't forget to give us a like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe.